And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I am back with another tier list. I'm also in the little box in the corner of the screen, which is pretty cool. Interesting. Haven't done that very much, maybe twice this entire year. So today we're going to be ranking the shooting guards in NBA 2K20 My Team. Pretty, I don't know, interesting position. It's kind of trash, but it's also kind of good at the same time. So here's the parameters. We'll talk about it. S tier, absolute god tier cards. Now, I will say this is a different type of position. Like, S tier point guards are a little bit better than S tier shooting guards. Like, that's how it's going to be. A tier guys, elite level cards, but they're not quite like ungodly. B tier, incredibly usable cards. C tier, good at one or two things. D tier, I don't know, good in the right hands, basically, and F tier, completely unusable, in my opinion, at this stage of the game. Now, I will say, not too many F tier cards. I'll say that right off the bat. So before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe. I just hit 600 subscribers. And other than that, let's get underway. So, first guy we got is Allen Iverson, who obviously is... We're ranking these guys. I don't want to do it completely based on their locked position, because it's like I'm ranking Allen Iverson as a shooting guard, when in reality, no one's going to play him at shooting guard. You know, they're going to play him at point guard. No one's really playing him at shooting guard at all. At least in my opinion, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to rank him just as he is right here. And I do have my phone as well on 2KDB, just to get specifics for the cards in general. Now, I will say that Allen Iverson is very good. He's lightning quick. At the shooting guard position, obviously, he's not really that great. But he does have some good badges. He is going to be an extremely efficient point guard. So it's kind of hard to rank him as such. This one's kind of tough in a lot of the shooting guards we have right now. Like, if you remember last year, pretty much every shooting guard we have is shooting guard, small forward. This year, we're getting a lot more shooting guard, point guard combos, like Richie Guerin and Donovan Mitchell and Allen Iverson and stuff like that. So it's harder to actually rank the shooting guards based on that. So he's a good card. He has like Giant Slayer, Ancillary Finisher, Hall of Fame. He also has like tight handles, and then he has like some playmaking badges with like Floor General and Dimer and stuff like that. He can also shoot relatively well. He is like flexible. You can give him actually no shooting badges really at all. I'll probably put him in C tier just based on his lack of shooting. Other than that, he's an incredibly fast card. I want to say he's like 94 speed, and he does have a decent 80 driving dunk too. But I don't know if I can move him up to like B or A tier. At the same coin, though, I can't really move him down to D or F tier. That's just me, though. He's really tough to rank. Bradley Beal. I mean, Allen Iverson's better than Bradley Beal. Like, straight up. I would put him at like D. He's pretty good. I got really nothing bad or good to really say about Bradley Beal. He's okay. James Silas, D. I like James Silas a lot, but he's a worse version of Allen Iverson. Like, he can't shoot at all. He can't dunk. He's really fast. He's good at getting to the basket, just not in the ways that you want him to. If that makes sense. Brian Winters, C. I mean, he was a outdated card already at this point, but he's a pretty good card, especially if you ran into him right after the shooting patch. Like, he was incredibly good, but I don't really think he's a B or A tier shooting guard at this point in time. C and D tier are going to be the most filled up tiers, in my opinion. That's just me. Buddy Hield, C. I can't say he's much better or much worse than Brian Winters. He's better at some things, worse at others. He does come standard with that silver range, I believe. I believe he has silver right off the rip. And he has a lightning fast jump shot, and he's a really good card. He's not going to play a whole lot of defense, but a little small at 6'4", but it's usable, especially at this stage in the game. So, Pete Maravich. No one's going to play him at the shooting guard position. Well, people do, but I'm going to put him at A for now because he is a lights-out shooter and he's a very good card. He's fast, he can shoot, he can facilitate, he can kind of really do a little bit of everything. He does have that steady shooter badge, which kind of hurts him. He misses... So for me personally, the top right corner, hot zone, which if I was good at editing, I could put up on the screen. I'm not. he would be a lot better because I shoot from there pretty frequently, so that kind of hurts him in my eyes anyway. But he's got upper 80s speed, 94 shot three-pointer. Like, he's solid. He's not going to play a whole lot of defense badges-wise. He does have, like, gold catch and, or not gold, Hall of Fame catch and shoot, gold range extender, gold's dead eye, difficult shots. You can give him flexible release and hot zone hunter, which are super important as well. So you can badge him up pretty hard. As far as, like, defensive badges, you can't give him clamps. That's pretty huge. I'll probably put him down in B just for that for now. I will say he may move up, just kind of depends how this ends up shaking up. So Byron Scott. Okay, so I'm going to put Byron Scott in B tier, but obviously Byron Scott and Pete Maravich cannot be in the same tier. Like, they're not the same card whatsoever. So Byron Scott's one of the best budget options, especially at point guard / shooting guard in this entire game. I really do think he is absolutely incredible, and to be honest with you, I would take Byron Scott over all of the guys below him. This might be just like a heart thing where I'm like, this is my guy, so I'm putting him here. Obviously, I'm sure people are not going to agree with this, but that's how I feel about the cards at this stage. Desmond Mason, C. He's big. He's 6'7". That's huge. But he's really only a good rim running card, and he's basically a shooting guard version of Derrick Rose. That makes sense. Like, he's going to hit the rim really well. He play a little bit of defense. He's not really going to shoot the ball at all. I don't like his jump shot that much, but next up we got Michael Cooper. Michael Cooper is A tier. Absolutely one of the best defensive cards in this entire game. And he can shoot. He can rim run a little bit if you attach the right badges to him. He's an all-around star, and I literally think he's one of the most underrated cards in this game, period. Next up, we got Campy Russell. Campy Russell is D. He's there. Richie Guerin. I think he's B. I will say he's better than Byron Scott. Dude, I always say Byron Russell. I don't know why. But that being said, I don't think he's on Pete Maravich or Michael Cooper's level, but he is really good. He's in this like B tier of like good budget point guards that we have. Daryl Griffith. Daryl Griffith's tough, man. I'm going to put him at C for now. Let me just look at his badge situation first. I know, right? I'm making this video. I'm supposed to have all these guys memorized. Dude, there's a lot of cards. I make a lot of these videos. All right, give me a break. Other than that, his hot zone situation is kind of weak. He has like really, really sparse hot zones. His badges aren't incredibly great. He has a 96 driving dunk, and rim running being the meta. That's pretty good. He's 6'4", so I would say he's extremely comparable to like a Desmond Mason, but Daryl Griffith can shoot a little bit better. 86 speed isn't great, and you can't attach any shooting badges to him, but you can attach a lot of defensive badges to him. I would say he's actually B tier. Yeah, I can't lower him lower than these guys. He's pretty good. His jump shot is, let me take a look. Jump shot 40, which is Detlef Schrempf and Gary Payton and Derek Fisher. So he has a pretty decent jump shot as well. Next up, we got CJ McCollum. He's tough, man. CJ McCollum's one of those cards where it's very hard to rank this guy, just because he does a few things extremely well, and he has decent hot zones. Once again, like the top right corner, in this case the top left corner, is not one of his hot zones, and those are two spots that I shoot from a lot, so I like those to be full. But he has like a 93 three-pointer, only a 60 driving dunk, but he does have an 84 driving layup, and he has some finishing badges as well, like consistent finisher and slithery and stuff like that. He has every single shooting badge except deep fades and ice and veins, which are fucking meaningless. He can't get a single defensive badge, though. That's why I'm going to put him in C tier. I mean, he might move up. I might move him up here. These guys are more all-around good. Byron Scott can't get any defensive badges either, so, like, who am I to say? I'm going to drop Byron Scott down. I like Byron Scott a lot, but he's just not at that level. I can't pretend that he is. I'll probably move CJ McCollum up for now. Like, he's a better version of Buddy Hield. Michael Jordan. This one hurts, man. This hurts, but does he go F tier? He might be. I think he's about as good as Campy Russell, honestly. Campy Russell can shoot a little bit. I can't say this MJ card is worse than James Silas or Bradley Beal, though. Like, if we're being completely honest, I really don't think he is. That being said, though, he's not very good. He has like 9 total badges. Granted, they're all, gold. At the same time, he has like no hot zones in 3-point, which is fine. He has a manageable enough 69 3-pointer that with the right shoe, a floor general, a coach, he can go up to upper 70s, low 80s. You can hit those. He does have a 90 driving dunk, which is really good. All of his badges are dunk-based, and you can't upgrade a single one of his badges other than that. So unlike the Amethyst Clutch Michael Jordan, who does play really, really good defense, this one does not. So I'd have to put him down in D. He honestly might move to F. I really don't like this card. David Thompson. David Thompson's not very good, but I can't say he's really worse than Desmond Mason. He's about the same. He's like a worse version of Daryl Griffith, in my opinion. Victor Oladipo. Oladipo's actually really good. I'd put him B tier. I don't think he's up in like A tier. I don't think he's either Pete Maravich or Michael Cooper level, but he's really, really good. Drazen Petrovic. Oh, that's tough, man. This card, it's like recency bias, so I'm going to put him in B tier for right now, but he just came out. So I haven't really got a chance to mess around with him too much. I've played a little bit with him, but he does come with gold range standard. The problem is that he has Hall of Fame steady shooter. Like, that's a huge issue. He does have corner specialist and catch and shoot Hall of Fame as well. And he does come... That's tough, because he does come with clamps, and you can give him multiple defensive badges. I'd have to put him in A tier. He's got that 97-3. He can run rim a little bit. He does have like an 85 driving layup. Decent speed, like 85. I don't think he's much worse than Pete Maravich. I think in all intents and purposes, he's better at some things, worse than other things. So I'd have to put him in A tier. It could just be recency bias, though. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about Drazen. I'm not really sure at this stage. James Harden. See, he's okay. I mean, what do you want, dude? It's James Harden. He's all right. Ray Allen. This one sucks. I don't want to do this because I've been ranting against this card since it came out, but he's S tier at this point in the game. Like, especially because you can add defensive badges to him. He's better than Pete. He's better than Drazen. He's an altogether great card at this stage in the game. It kind of hurts because I hate him. Allen Houston. Yeah, Allen Houston, you're my man, but you got to go C. I'll take all 4 of these guys over Allen Houston at this stage. He just doesn't play any defense, and he doesn't run rim. So it's kind of hard to really suggest. Katino Mobley. C. He's really good, but once again, he's very similar to Allen Houston. Great jump shot, elite shooter. Doesn't really do much else. Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's better than Richie Guerin, and that's why he's in A tier, in my opinion. He might get dropped down to be on the same tier as like Richie Guerin and these guys, but I think he's a little bit better than them. So for now, I'm going to put him up in A tier. It just kind of depends how it shakes out. Doug Christie. C. I mean, he's okay. Like, he's a 3-and-D guy. He's not nearly as good as Michael Cooper, but he deserves to be in C tier. Nobody's in F. I really don't think there's many cards in F tier. Manu, B. He's a dribble god. He does everything pretty well. I just don't think he's up in this level right here. Klay Thompson, B as well. I think he could be an A tier if he just didn't have that glitch with the center. Because 2K hasn't fixed that, I don't think he can jump up to A tier, personally. Doug Collins, D. He's alright. He's just a bit outdated. He's fine, though. Austin Carr, D. He's just okay. No, Austin Carr's decent. I'll put him up in C. I like Austin Carr. He's actually pretty good. Plus, he's got a good size. Mitch Richman. Oh, Mitch Richman. I'm sorry. You got to go D tier. You know what? No. Mitch Richmond's tough, man. He's so outdated at this point that I don't recommend using him at all. I don't know. This was him and my man Allen Houston were my absolute favorite cards for the beginning of this year. Like, legitimately my favorite, but he doesn't have my 2 favorite hot zones. He has 14 gold badges. Yeah, he does have... he has gold range still. Yeah, I'm going to move my man up. He deserves to be right next to Allen Houston at this stage. You just can't give him any defensive badges. And that really hurts him, and the lack of flexible release hurts him a lot too. But you can give him a bunch of finishing badges too. He's got a decent 3 at 84. He's a little bit better at finishing than Allen Houston. Allen Houston is a little bit better at shooting, but they're basically similar cards. Steve Smith. Steve Smith probably deserves to be at the same spot as Doug Christie, but for personal reasons, I'm going to throw him down here. I just hate this fucking card. I was so excited for him. I liked Steve Smith all year last year, and then I get this card, and it's absolute dog shit. It's so bad. Hey, if you like Steve Smith, more power to you. Like I said, he's not an F tier. None of these cards are completely unusable, but I probably shouldn't even have included F tier at this stage. Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is a 3 and D card without the 3. So, for that reason, I'm throwing him in D. He's okay, but I would rather use, like, Doug Christie, personally. Kerry Kittles. I like Kerry Kittles a lot, but I think Kerry Kittles at this stage in the game is F. Which hurts, because I like this card a lot. But I really do think that all these guys are better than him in one way or another. No. Can't do it. Maybe he drops down, but I'm not sure yet. I got one for F tier, Tony Allen. Tony Allen fucking sucks, dude. First off, he doesn't even play great defense. He plays pretty good defense. He can't shoot at all, so he's basically a non-factor on offense. He rim runs okay, but if you're running like Tony Allen and then like one other guy that doesn't shoot, they can just 2-3 zone you to death, essentially. So it's one of those things. I don't think he's really that good. Michael Jordan from the Clutch set. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put Michael Jordan from Clutch up here in D, and then this Michael Jordan down in F. Because this Clutch Michael Jordan is 100% better than this one. Especially because he plays immaculate defense, and he shoots about the same, but he does everything else better. Duncan Robinson. I'll throw him in D. He shoots the ball extremely well. He's a cone. He plays a little bit of defense. He's big at 6'7", so it's like, can I really say confidently that he's awful? And he's not down here with these guys. So, Eddie Johnson. Once again, Eddie Johnson's D. If you like him, awesome, dude. Use him. I'm just not a huge fan of him, and I usually am. Eric Gordon. I'm not insane. Eric Gordon C tier. I like Eric Gordon as a budget card. He's incredible, but all these guys are better than Eric Gordon. Like, if we're being completely real, that 6'4" size, like, how much better is Eric Gordon really than Buddy Hield? A little bit, yes, but not by much. Tracy McGrady. A. To be completely honest, I love T-Mac. He's my favorite player of all time, but when I make these lists, I try to be as unbiased as possible. And is he as good as Ray Allen? In the right hands, yeah. But the fact that you can't give him clamps is hugely important. That is such a negative on his card. Granted, he has like a high lateral quickness, and if you're playing on-ball defense, you can slide over and you can play the necessary defense. And I like his hot zones. He's got good badges. That gold steady hurts him a lot, but I mean, most of the cards on this list have steady shooter, especially with their shooters. And he's an absolutely elite finishing card. But just not being able to get clamps, you can't give him like interceptor or intimidator. The only things you can really give him on defense are like off-ball pest and rebound chaser. You can't give him pickpocket either, and tireless defender. It hurts the card so much that his offense, it just doesn't make up for it, in my opinion. I will say Ray Allen is definitely better than T-Mac. I won't pay that price for Ray Allen, but I will admit that Tracy McGrady is not as good. Rip Hamilton, C. I like Rip Hamilton a lot, but I don't think he's any higher than C tier. To be honest with you, I'm going to go non-biased and put him in D. All these guys are realistically better than him. Gail Goodrich. D. He's okay. He's like a worse version of Brian Winters, personally. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. C. He's okay. I don't know why you can't play him at point guard, though. Like, Shai's primary position in real life is point guard, and the fact that you can't is super weird to me. I don't understand why 2K did that. I mean, I get it this year. Like, he played more shooting guard than anything, even small forward in some of their small ball sets. But, like, at the same time, it's weird to give a guy whose primary position is a point guard, shooting guard, and small forward. It's just kind of strange. He has a lot of really good playmaking badges. He has no defensive badges. He doesn't have any shooting badges either. But then again, he's not really that much worse than like Desmond Mason. He only has a 75 driving dunk though. He can shoot the 3 at 83. He just doesn't have very many badges. He has Hall of Fame hot zone hunter though. So yeah, I'll keep him at C tier. Brandon Roy. Brandon Roy is a little bit worse version of T-Mac. I'll say that. I think he is. I might move Donovan Mitchell down. I truly don't think he's as good as these 4 guys. I'll keep him there. It doesn't matter really. It's a tier list. Who cares? Ray Allen Ruby. He's still C tier. Like he's really good, especially for a Ruby. There aren't really that many Rubies in this game that are OP like that, and Ray Allen has been one of the better shooters in this entire game. So I would say he's still up there. Isaiah Ryder. I think Isaiah Ryder's B tier. Isaiah Ryder's really good. He's really, really good. Especially at rim running, he's almost unstoppable because of his tendencies. He dunks so hard from so far away. Adrian Dantley. I hate Adrian Dantley. I'm sure there's people out there who like this card, so don't spear me in the comments, but I really just do not like this card at all. Jeff Hornacek, I think, is probably F tier. I think he's one of the only shooting cards that deserves to be F tier. I just don't think any of the shooters that are up here are worse than Jeff Hornacek. He's 6'3". You can't even give him range extender or like. I was really disappointed because like when this game came out, I thought for sure this was going to be one of the best like token reward cards we got early on, and he was actually just really bad. Next up, we got Kobe. Kobe Bryant's okay. He's like C tier. That's about it. Marquise Johnson. Dude, I hate this card so much. D. He's not good. I know he's a pink diamond, and I'm sure some people are really good with him. So I will say that he probably deserves to be in C tier. You might be able to convince me he deserves to be in B tier. I'm unlikely to concede that, but you could probably convince me he deserves to be in C tier. But out of principle, I don't think he's better than a lot of these guys in C tier, especially for the way my team plays. In real, like stats wise, is he better than Ray Allen? Yes. Overall fit for your team, though, I think Ray Allen might just be a little bit better. Marquise Johnson is just outdated. He was a card that came out in the first week. I just think that a lot of these guys are better than him at a lot of things, and he's really good at rim running, and he's pretty decent defensively, and in the right hands, he's probably really good. I just don't think he's up here in this. That's just me. Otis. Now, I left these two for last because it's just hard to place them. Otis Birdsong is A tier, and I'm dropping Donovan Mitchell. And the reason for that is Otis Birdsong, I think, is just a little bit better than him, and they play a very similar role and position. So Otis is absurd. I like this card a lot, and unfortunately, I don't have him on my account, which sucks, but I have played around with him. I played so much Unlimited and didn't get him, dude. And next up, we got Harden. This hurts because I don't want to support 2K for doing the things that they do. But at the same time, like this Harden card, when I used it, like the time I was using it before I sold it, being one of the rarest cards in the game, he probably does not deserve to be an S tier. But this card is fake. Like, it's legitimately fake. The 3 cards that 2K released for the Halloween special are absolutely fake cards. He's absurd. Like, offensively, he's absolutely absurd. His hot zones aren't the most insane in the world, but the fact that they gave him no steady shooter, so he doesn't have steady. He has, like, volume shooter Hoff, and then he has gold catch and shoot Deadeye, difficult shots, flexible, range, hot zone hunter. He has every shooting badge in gold. He has pretty much every playmaking badge in gold with a space creator on Hoff. His defensive badges are not great. Okay, my bad. I was under the impression that Harden could get clamps, which he could not. He does have silver interceptor, though. I mean, I really do think he's better than Tracy Mcgrady. Maybe I'm tripping about Harden in S tier. I typically try to have at least 2 S tier cards in every tier list, so maybe he's not S tier. Maybe you think one of these guys is more of an S tier deserving card, which I could totally see, and I understand that facet. I just think that how dominant this James Harden card is on offense it's telling. Like, he's legitimately one of the best shooting cards in this entire game. That being said, you can make the argument for Otis Birdsong as well. He's absolutely absurd. You can add every single shooting badge to Otis Birdsong, which is kind of a huge deal. I don't remember what jump shot he has. Jump shot 63. I think that's the only thing that knocks him, is I don't like his jump shot. Some people really do. It's tough. It really depends what you value. I think Otis Birdsong's very good. I just don't think he's an S-tier card that can take over a game. I think James Harden kind of is. The fact that Otis can pretty much get every single badge in the game, though, is pretty huge. Even defensive badges he can get. Yeah, you know what? Dropping Harden, throwing Otis up here. I think Otis is elite. Legitimately. Granted, more at the point guard position. He's an absolutely elite card. And it didn't cost you a bunch of money at 2 a.m. to get him. And I think that's the main reason that I'm throwing Otis up there instead of James Harden. Like, realistically, I'd probably rather use this James Harden card on my team than Otis Birdsong. That's just me, especially at the shooting guard position. But I can't reward 2K for doing a blatant cash grab money ripoff with an S-tier card. That's not going to happen. I can't do it. Otis Birdsong is a free card. That automatically catapults him to S-tier because this year the free cards just haven't been that elite. And honestly, this card truly is. So anyways, guys, it has been your boy Cheap Blues. Thank you for watching the video. I'll be back with the small forward tier list as well. Yeah, I know everything's kind of jumbled right now. I've been busy all weekend, so I apologize if this list has been discombobulated in any way. And if you don't agree with it, which I'm sure you won't, because there'll be like 5 down votes for no reason, because I put like Michael Cooper too high or something, whatever. Either way, I appreciate you watching it, so go ahead and drop a like, comment down below with how much you hate me and my tier list, and subscribe to the channel while you're here. Also, go check out my podcast, Will This Ever End? It's a fun time. We're talking about Silent Hill right now. If you're interested in that, cool, man. Come on over. Go check out the Patreon if you want to support me. Other than that, I'll be streaming on Twitch, especially on pack days, so come holler at me there. And peace out.